day looks like. It's a typical day. Today is Wednesday, December the 5th, and it's just after 8 o'clock this morning, and I'm just about to leave the house. Got to make the kids lunches, and then I'm gone. You can see the sun's just about rising here in Moose Jaw. I have about a 5 or 10 minute commute to work. Moose Jaw is a fairly small city of about 35,000 people, and so it doesn't take long to get around. But I work in a larger geographic region that covers approximately 250 miles north-south and around 100 miles east-west. And so I do a fair bit of traveling. I'll do a little bit today as well. So today would be, I guess, as typical a day as any, although I don't really have any typical days as my job sort of takes me wherever. And so but today would probably provide you with pretty good insight on some of the things I do. So the lineup for today includes, I have a meeting right off here with some of our other consultants. We're working on project-based learning with a number of our teachers, and we're working in particular with an organization called Project Foundry, and really quite a nice system that they use where the students can design their own projects. But initially they need to have all of the learning objectives built into the database so that they can go ahead and make their projects and choose the appropriate objectives. What we have to do is we have a very strange curriculum in many ways, and we have to figure out a way to bring some uniformity and some conciseness to some of our objectives. So that's what we're doing this morning for about an hour and a half. And pretty well as soon as that meeting's done, I have to head down south about 45 miles to Mossbank, Saskatchewan. I've been doing, and that's just a very small town, a K-12 school, probably 150 kids. Anyways, I've been working with that staff over the past few Wednesdays at lunch, looking at building a Web 2.0 classroom. And so this is my third noon hour with them. We'll have one more evening session next Wednesday, and kind of see where that takes them. So that'll be a bit of professional development that I'll do today. And then I drive straight back to Moose Jaw, and at 2 o'clock I have a meeting with Apple computers. We're looking at bringing in apples into our current system. And so we've had discussions with them before, and so we're just continuing that discussion around what that would look like. And so that's a meeting that I'll be involved in that, and our IT manager as well, probably some of our IT staff, looking at the technical considerations, and I'm there to kind of look at the educational or the professional learning considerations. So this is where I work. I actually work out of the school, Lyndale School, here in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. I did, when our division first amalgamated 3 years ago, have an office, a division office, but they were a little too crowded, so our whole curriculum team moved here just because there's a neat little wing off to the side of the school where we have our offices. But it's nice to be in the school. You get to see kids every day, and I feel like you're a real teacher. So this is my office here. Forgot to clean it, but oh well. So I have a desktop machine, and I also will hook up my laptop as well. So I'm just gonna get set up here, check a few emails, to-do lists and that, and then probably have my meeting here shortly.
Like in that first section, there's irrational numbers, and the target title maybe should be irrational numbers.
Yeah, but there's all of them then. Okay, well then you go irrational numbers 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
That's how we could read.
I mean, that's how the ELA I put listening, and then although I thought, well, I mean, it's just listening, and then all of those listening,
Meeting 1 is out of the way. we got a fair bit done, we think, in terms of how we're going to help compact our curriculum objectives for our project-based learning teams. And so now I'm off to Mossbank, Saskatchewan, and I'll be doing just a lunch hour session with them again on building their Web 2.0 classrooms is the sort of the theme we've been working on. So I have about just not quite an hour's drive ahead of me, and we'll be there. So now I'll give you a little Canadian culture here. There's no road trip is complete without a stop at the Tim Hortons, where you get your great coffee, and I'm hoping it's still I can still get a breakfast sandwich. We'll find out soon.
Morning.
Medium coffee with cream and a breakfast sandwich.
Bacon or sausage?
Sausage, please.
390 Portsmouth.
Thank you. Got it. I'm going to give you a little insight on winter driving on the prairies here. I actually have my little camera attached to my steering wheel. I'll show you the tripod I use in just a second. But you can see this is pretty typical of the drive that I would have. There's a little bit of drifting snow across the highway. But that's pretty typical, and we don't have a lot of snow on the ground, as you can see kind of on the right-hand side. The fields are fairly bare. When it gets tricky is when there's more snow on the ground and then the wind picks up, and that's when driving conditions are a little dicey. But right now this is pretty easy going. You'll see a little semi pass here, and you're going to be a little bit of a white out there for just a second. Not much, and then away you go. But to give you a better idea of the flatness of the prairies and the humor that we associate with it, have a look at this little clip from a television show called Corner Gas.
Want me to fill it up?
Sure. You know, I've never driven across Saskatchewan before.
Well, you still haven't, really. About halfway to go yet.
Sure is flat.
How do you mean?
Yeah, flat, nothing to see.
What do you mean, like topographically? Hey, Hank, this guy says Saskatchewan is flat.
How do you mean?
Topographically, I guess. Says there's nothing to see.
There's lots to see. There's nothing to block your view.
There's lots to see, nothing to block your view. Like the mountains back there. They're, well, what the hell? I could have sworn there was a big mountain range back there, jutting up into the sky, all purple and majestic. Must be thinking of a postcard I saw or something. Man, this is kind of flat. Thanks for pointing that out.
You guys always this sarcastic?
Nothing else to do.
So, just to show you a little bit of the setup that I'm using, I'm actually using my Canon SD750 digital camera to do the filming, and I'm quite liking the film quality of the 640 by 480 setting on this, and it's certainly a lot handier than carrying around a video camera. Although I'm going to investigate that flip video camera that's coming out. But anyways, what's kind of neat is this little tripod right here is just a wonderful tool, and I'm so glad I got it. I picked it up at Eddie Bauer, I think, and it just allows me to put this thing virtually anywhere and have a nice steady shot with that camcorder. So that'd be a great thing for anybody to pick up. Listening to podcasts is something I'll do passing the time. Right now I've got I've hooked up my Creative Zen to my MP3 player, or to my car, and I'm listening to a book called Micro Trends right now, and it helps pass the time away. So I don't mind some of these longer trips because I get to do a little listening as well. So we're just arriving here in Mossbank, Saskatchewan, where we'll do our noon hour session. So it's just about 11:40, and lunch is at 12. So I'll go in and get the room set up, and then we'll spend an hour with teachers, and then I'll be heading back. incorporate them? I'm assuming
Yes,
you
I
did.
did all those,
Okay,
yes.
because one of the issues we were talking about before is whether or not bookmarks follow you wherever you log in, and they should. So it doesn't matter what computer you're on. It has nothing to do with that. You could be in Glentworth on a computer, log in, and you would have access to those bookmarks. Well, it's 1:15. We just finished up our session with teachers from Mossbank School, and it went really well, actually. They were working on this idea of building a Web 2.0 classroom, and so today's session was focusing a lot on sort of getting the building blocks of Web 2.0 in place, including things like learning how to tab browse, learning how to bookmark, some pretty basic things, but skills that you kind of have to have. And another one was signing up for accounts. And so what we did was signed up for a Google account and a Wikispaces account. And so next week we're going to meet for about 3 hours over supper and kind of explore those a little bit further and just allow them to kind of get themselves immersed in these tools. And so I'm trying to incorporate a couple of different ideas. One is it was actually from the K-12 online conference by Drew Murphy on building a Web 2.0 classroom step by step, because I think he does break it down into some detailed steps, but I think that there's some good in there that I need to incorporate. And the second concept that I'm trying to get across is just that they need to be more personal with the use of their tools. It's selfish, and learn them more outside an educational context. And we had some really good talk about that, and some excitement around how they can do that. So it was a good session. Anyways, I've got 40 minutes until my next meeting, so it's going to be nip and tuck if I'm there on time. But anyways, it's with Apple computers, and just trying to get our head around how we can incorporate the Apple computer into our existing network. Well, I'm back in town about 5 minutes after 2 here, a little late for my meeting. Our division office is just over there to your left, behind those cars, and so
It's just nice to see you. Oh, it's just nice to see you. Yeah, it's just nice to see you.
our meeting just wrapped up here. I think it went fairly well. Apple, of course, very interested in trying to cut into the market here, and we're quite willing to see what we can do. So actually our IT department has already been playing around with the operating system and making it work with our Active Directory and all the technical jargon that goes with it. And my interest is in making sure that we can get access to more kids and more of our teachers, and so yeah, it could be the start of a beautiful relationship. Anyways, it's getting close to 4 o'clock. I'm gonna head back to the office and wrap up a few things before my day is unofficially done. Just back at the office, catching on with a few emails before I head home. Well, I'm done for this part of the day anyways. So it's 4:45 and I've kind of finished the unofficial part of my work day, or the official part of my work day I should say, and I've got more work to do later on tonight. So I'm just going to pick up my daughter, head home, make some supper, do the chores that my wife asked me to do, and then hopefully sometime tonight I'll be able to catch up with a few more things that I've missed, do a little more networking, and that will conclude my day. Well, so now I'm just doing the real learning of the day. I just actually got off of Skype talking to David Jakes, who's in, I think, Dayton, Ohio right now, doing some conferencing, and I'm reading some feeds and checking out some links, downloading some videos, and just trying to stay ahead of the game all the time. And so this sort of winds down the unofficial part of my day, but certainly as valuable as anything else I've done today, because this is the real learning here, right? You have a chance to read and to continue conversations about learning. Anyways, well, thank you for joining me, and I hope that you enjoyed this little tour of my day, and I'd really encourage anyone else out there to create your own little video of what it is you do. I'd be more than excited to see everyone do that. I think there's value in finding out insights into how people work and how people learn. And so make your own video and post it to your blog. That'd be great. Bye.